64 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the Broadway production of Branden Jacobs-Jenkins' Appropriate, or Appropriate, if you will, directed by Lila Neugebauer, running through March 3rd at Second Stages, the Hayes Theater at 240 West 44th Street in New York City. Now would be an appropriate time to invite you to visit my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my work here. With more and more critics, me included, being delegated to having to work independently, any support you can provide will help me continue to bring my reviews to you. A link will be in the description, and thank you for your support. Presenting the most dysfunctional family in theater since Tracy Letts' August Osage County, Branden Jacobs-Jenkins has written, in my opinion, the best new play on Broadway since Jez Butterworth's The Ferryman. Featuring a phenomenal cast led by Sarah Paulson, Appropriate follows three siblings returning to their deceased father's plantation home in southeast Arkansas. As the family cleans up the artifacts of their father's past, they discover his dark secrets, each of them dealing with their discoveries in their own way. Paulson plays the eldest of the three siblings, Tony, who tended to their father at the end of his life and is fiercely defensive of him. As she says in Act 2, someone has to defend the dead, someone has to defend the truth matters. But this, of course, is the truth as Tony sees it, not necessarily what the facts are. Tony has one son, Rhys, who has spent time in juvenile detention for dealing drugs in a school that Tony was vice principal at. She was subsequently fired due to the ordeal. Beau, played by Corey Stoll, is the middle child who has been living in New York with his wife Rachel, played by Natalie Gold, and their two children, the impressionable and curious tween Cassidy, played by Alyssa Emily Marvin, and the younger Ainsley, played alternately by Lincoln Cohen and Everett Sobers. Beau is primarily focused on the finances of the family and how they will be able to turn a profit in the selling of the estate. The third and youngest sibling is Frank, or Franz as he now prefers, played by Michael Esper, a recovering addict who during his addiction had statutorily raped an underage girl. He is now dating River, played by Elle Fanning, who, though legal, is at least 10 to 15 years his younger. River is a vegan and spiritualist assisting Franz in making amends with his family. When they discover a photo album filled with old photos of lynchings, the family debates their legacy, particularly their father, and what secret life he may have led. Jacobs-Jenkins expertly takes us through nearly 3 hours of the mental gymnastics people will do to justify, defend, or whitewash history for the sake of protecting their family's legacy, or worse, their own points of view and actions. It's brutal, honest, and filled with graphic, bitter resentfulness as each sibling's selfishness plays out, because each of them is, or perceived to be in some capacity, whether it be Tony's selfish desire to protect her family's legacy and name, or Beau's selfish desire to keep his family's finances solvent, or Franz's desperate need for forgiveness. Franz's motivations are brought into question as he has been absent from the family for over 10 years. He's missed his father's funeral and shows up just in time for the auction of the estate. Under Neugebauer's direction, the characters are all meticulously developed, fallible yet with inner fires of devotion and strength, and the cast dedicates themselves with fierce performances. Paulson is fervent and sometimes horrifying, leading to wonder what abuses she may have received that caused her to put up the defenses she has. We get some of her past, but some things are not explicitly stated, and I think there is subtextual evidence that something more happened to her that she hides. Tony's own bigotry and hypocrisy bleeds through Paulson's performance, denying her father's bigotry while her own comes out. Of the three siblings, Beau is probably the least developed. The writing of the character doesn't delve too deep beyond his need for protecting the family's finances. Otherwise, he more or less works as a launching point for Rachel's objections of Beau's father to Tony and trying to protect their two children from exposure to the photo album. This is no admonition of Corey Stoll's performance, who balances Beau's need to try to be the man of the household while also trying not to be sexist and repeatedly cutting off the ladies as they speak, something he fails at frequently. Esper carries a massive weight with Franz, as Franz is the person who legitimately committed the worst sins among the living and present on stage. Jacobs-Jenkins, though, has written him to be a miserable but sensitive soul of a being, and Esper keeps Franz just on the right side of likable so as not to have the audience feeling he is so reprehensible that he is unredeemable. Dots' scenic design is massive and detailed. even for such a small house as the Helen Hayes. Jane Cox's lighting design is minimalist and atmospheric. Bray and Will Pickens' sound design is also incredible, as scenes open and close with this buzzing of cicadas to the point of creating a supernatural presence around the house. Appropriate, or Appropriate, is a stunning allegory of the American reality. It's not hard to take the household debate of one's father to people's blind devotion to their political leaders or their faith or any other passion people obsess over and defend without consideration to the faults and flaws that infest everything we follow. This is the best play of the year and is an absolute must-see. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Appropriate, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be a link to my Patreon page, so please check that out too. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the off-Broadway production of Buena Vista Social Club. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.